Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you guys are watching from. Sports here. I'm here with my man Deven, and Game 3 of the NBA Finals is here once again, and we're going to do the exact same thing that we've been doing here on my channel, doing a short game recap, following up with expectations, and then giving some X factors and our final prediction on who is going to win Game 3 of the playoffs. It's going to be an exciting one. I'm excited to see what Deven here has to say about Game 3 because this is now a 1-1 series where it is anybody's game. So starting off, obviously, with the game recap, it was a all-around performance for the Miami Heat in Game 2, as they had 3 of their starters and 20 points with Gabe Vincent, Bam Adebayo, and Jimmy Butler. Duncan Robinson came in the fourth quarter and scored 10 points, 2 of 2 from downtown, and he was one of the big key factors in what allowed Miami to run away with that victory. And it was a huge role from him after guys like Max Strus, Duncan Robinson, and Caleb Martin, they all struggled in Game 1, going 2 for 23, and this was such a big response as I expected Miami to do. But I did pick Denver still to win, but Miami was able to take it by storm. Even Max Strus came back. He had 4 3-pointers in the first quarter, which allowed Miami to set the tone early. And Miami was able to sneak away with the 111-108 victory. So, expectations for Game 3. Miami is a team who plays with momentum. Once they get a win, they do not look to run away from that because Miami is a team who continues to play well off of the things that are already going well. And now that they have stolen a game in Denver going 1-1, when they go back into Miami, that place is going to be loud. And Miami is such a hard arena to win in whenever Miami is playing well, and they've shown that all playoffs. So I expect Jimmy Butler to have himself a big game. Maybe somewhere around that 30-point marker. I think Jimmy Butler is going to have one of those statement games these finals, and one of his first after having a little bit of an underwhelming start to these finals, going 13 points in the first game and then having 21 last game, but not a very efficient game as he went 7 for 19. So, Dev, what do you have to say about this?
So it's really only a matter of time until Jimmy Butler actually shows who Jimmy Butler is. And if it's going to be a game in this playoffs, it's going to be in Game 3.
Yeah.
And I really think it's scary that Caleb Martin only had 3 points. He went absolutely crazy, and we've seen it in the past that he has the ability to score.
Yeah.
At a wide variety of you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And Duncan Robinson with 10 points, and that's a problem for Denver is they let him score all 10 of his points in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
And if you're Denver, you can't let that happen. I mean, he's a good player and all, but he had 0 points up until the fourth quarter, and that's whenever you needed to stop him the most. So, and then Gabe Vincent poured on 23 points, which, in my opinion, he's the Finals MVP.
As of right now, yeah, he is. He's playing extremely well.
If he went 8 for 12, 4 for 6, 3 for 3 on free throws.
Super efficient.
It's super efficient play. So as of right now, Gabe Vincent is my Finals MVP, I would say. But you can't. Because Caleb Martin, like I said, Caleb Martin is going to get going. And once he does, it's going to be scary for the Nuggets.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to stop because obviously we know what Caleb Martin did throughout the course of these playoffs, especially in last series against Boston, where a lot of people said that he should have been the Eastern Conference Finals MVP. Caleb Martin had such a great series and was one of, if not the second best factor in what led Miami to that victory behind Jimmy Butler. So it continues to be about how well are the other guys going to step up. You can rely on Jimmy Butler to go get you somewhere between 20 points a night, and especially even on a bad night where he's not as efficient. But it always comes down to how the role players come up and play, because we saw in Game 1 how they struggled, how the 3 of the shooters went 2 for 23, but we saw how Bam Adebayo stepped up, and even with the struggle of the shooters, they still only managed to lose by 11 points. I think that says more about Miami than that does about Denver, because Denver had 9 days of rest. They slept in their own beds. I mean, for 9 straight days in the middle of the postseason, that's a big factor. And for Miami, who had played a Game 7 series, goes up into altitude and only loses by 11 with their players just not in it, I think it's a big statement, even in the loss of Game 1. And then they respond in Game 2. But for Denver in Game 2, they played pretty well throughout the course of that game until the fourth quarter where Duncan Robinson showed up. I mean, Nikola Jokic had himself a game. 41 points in 42 minutes on 16 of 28 from the field, 2 of 3 from beyond the arc, and 7 of 8 from the free throw line with 11 rebounds. Struggled with the playmaking with only 4 assists after having 14 in game 1, but still managed to really put the team on his back. I mean, everyone else really struggled. Jamal Murray, 18 points. Aaron Gordon, 12 points. Bruce Brown was their fourth leading scorer with 11. I mean, Michael Porter Jr., he has been struggling these playoffs. He went 5 for 16 in game 1 and then went 2 for 8 in game 2. As a guy who's known to let it fly, he's not efficiently letting it fly. I'm going to look for him to maybe have a bounce-back game, especially in Game 3, because honestly, I think this is a game where Denver has their backs against the walls. Losing one at home and now going into a tough Miami environment, I think if anyone has their backs against the walls, even in a 1-1 series, it's got to be Denver right now.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And you got to look at it this. Denver Nuggets only have an 8-man rotation compared to Miami's 10-man rotation. So I think that's a big factor, too, is if Jokic isn't in the game or if Murray isn't in the game, who is contributing to it? Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, you have Miami who has Duncan Robinson, Cody Martin, and then Kyle Lowry coming off the bench pouring in 24 minutes. So you got to look at it like that as all these factors of what's their man rotation. And Denver only has 8 men compared to like 13 people on the roster.
And don't forget, they're going to get back Tyler Hero potentially tonight.
Yeah.
Potentially, yeah. He's supposed to come back in potentially game 3 or 4. He could be back sooner than later.
That just adds another man to the rotation, another guy that can score, and we've seen it. So I think, like he said, Denver has their backs against the walls. And I'm gonna say it here. I'm a big Denver guy. I'm from Denver. I like the Broncos, and if I like baseball, I like the Avalanche. And if I like hockey, I like the Avalanche. If I like baseball, I like the Rockies. I'm a big Colorado boy. So I want Denver to win this series, but my unbiased opinion, I think Denver really has their back against the walls going into Miami.
Yeah, and I think honestly, if Miami gets game 2 on the board, I think game 3 on the board, they're gonna get game 4 as well. Like I said, Miami is just a team who plays with so much momentum, and once they get a win, they do not refuse to look backwards. They push their heads and they drive down and they continue to look forward. They continue to carry the momentum that they already have. And I think it's going to be a game where Miami is going to do that, especially right now. As they said, you go in, you steal game 2, which is a big deal because when you have home court, especially in the finals, you look to make a statement. And Denver made a statement win in game 1 as they went on a lot of runs. And Miami made it close a few times. But I think these 2 games, even in the loss, Miami has showed so much more of what they are compared to Denver. And Denver is arguably the better team. They're more talented.
Oh, yeah,
I think they might be better coached. I think that's a really good argument between Spoelstra and Mike Malone. But I mean, Denver has had a dominant run in the Western Conference while Miami went on the Cinderella story as an 8th seed. And Miami doesn't, I think, even though these teams are obviously competing really well, Denver is the more talented team. The 2-time MVP, should he have been 3? Probably. Jamal Murray, their second option, averaged 32 points in the Western Conference Finals. I mean, we can talk about numbers all day, but Miami, even when it seems like on paper their roster isn't as talented as the Denver Nuggets, they're showing up and they're showing out on a night-to-night basis.
So now this raises this question. Who is the X factor for both teams?
I think for Miami, I'm going to look for, honestly, you could really say Jimmy Butler, but I think Jimmy Butler's going to have just one of those Jimmy Butler games, as you said. Honestly, I think it's going to have to be Bam Adebayo because last game Jokic had 41 on 42 minutes, and then Jokic had a triple-double in game 1. So Jokic, if Denver even lose this series, this could be one of those Jerry West things where Jokic played so well, just give him the finals MVP. But Bam Adebayo definitely has to step up, especially defensively, because you're going to give up 41, 42 points. I mean, it's going to be hard to stop that. And so for Bam to come in and play well on both ends of the floor, especially defensively, that's what he did a lot offensively in game 1. But if he plays well at both ends, Denver's going to be in a hard position, and they're going to have to rely on the other guys like Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr.
Yeah, I'll give my X factor for Miami, and then we can give Nuggets.
Okay.
So my X factor, honestly, is Gabe Vincent. I know it's crazy to say because he's been playing really good, but with Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo being the stars, they're gonna get touches.
Yeah.
A lot of touches during this game. So I think Gabe Vincent is the X factor. If he plays like he did last game, I think Miami's going to win this game because Jimmy Butler, like you said, Jimmy Butler's going to come and play.
Yeah.
Bam Adebayo can guard 1 through 5. So, I mean, we've seen it. I think it was Draymond Green said in his podcast, he said that playing with Bam, he's seen that he can guard 1 through 5.
Yeah.
So I'm not really worried about Bam or Jimmy as much as I'm worried about Gabe Vincent. I think Gabe Vincent was really efficient, so if he can show it in Game 3, I think Miami's going to win pretty easily.
And I think arguably if he continues to play as well as he has, he's going to make a case for Finals MVP if Miami comes out on top in this series. For Denver,
and one more thing.
Yeah.
So I heard, I don't know who said it, but if you're going to be a great player, you got to be great all the time.
Yeah.
Like that goes for Gabe Vincent. Is if you're going to be great, you can't just be great one game. You can't just be great for a week, like a week span or a month span. You have to be great all the time.
Yeah.
In order to be a great player.
Yeah. No, I absolutely agree with that. For Denver, I'm going to do what I did with Miami in Game 2. I'm really just going to pick anyone besides Jokic as their X Factor players, because here's the thing, Jokic is going to go out, he could maybe get 30 points, he'll get a triple-double. Jokic is going to do what he does, but I'm looking at guys like Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon, those three. I'm going to look for them to step up, and I want them to step up in a big way, because if they're going to win this series, someone besides Jokic is going to have to play at an MVP caliber level. I'm going to look for Jamal Murray to replicate what he did in the Western Conference Finals, and I'm looking for Michael Porter Jr. to be more efficient than what he was. Aaron Gordon has had a pretty decent series. He had 16 points in Game 1 on a pretty efficient first quarter, setting the tone early. In Game 2, 5 for 7, 2 of 2 from beyond the arc. So he's playing well. He's grabbing he's got 7 rebounds. He's doing his job on both ends of the floor. But I want to see the role players and the secondary stars. They have to step up. They have to step up in a big way, because if they want to win this series, it's not going to be just by Jokic. It's going to be a team, and they're going to have to come together, and they're going to have to put on a show. Michael Porter Jr., 5 points in Game 2, and they're paying him a lot. They're paying him a lot of money. And for him to go get 5 points in a finals,
good.
He is. He's a talented player. He's known to shoot the ball. He's never going to not let it fly. And that's what I want to see him let it fly, but he's got to knock those down. And Jamal Murray, he had a great Game 1, a little bit of a step back in Game 2. I'm going to look for him to come back, and I think his line is 25, 5 points. I'm going to look for him to take the over on that one for you bettors out there. I think he's going to have a much better game, but everyone besides Jokic is going to need to step up, and if they don't step up fast, Miami's going to run away with it.
I think my biggest X factor for this game is the Nuggets.
Just the Nuggets.
No, my biggest X factor for this game is MPJ. There's a joke going around about saying that he never swings the rock.
Yeah.
Like he never passes. And if you're going to be MPJ, you're going to be a shooter, right? So you got to knock down those shots that you shoot. Because I think if he shoots well and he does what he's supposed to, I think Denver has a chance to win this game. That's only if MPJ steps up.
Yeah. They're going to look for his three-point shooting, and they're going to need that consistently. 1 for 6 in Game 2, and he, like I said, struggled in Game 1. And he's going to need that because, as you said, a very small rotation compared to Miami's, about 10 or 11 guys, and they're going to need the guys that they have. The guys are paying big money to. Big-time players need to step up in big-time games, and that's what we're looking for Michael Porter Jr. to do. So, dialing it in for our final lock-in prediction, I'm going to be rolling with the 305 once again. Miami, like I said, they're a team that plays with so much momentum, stealing one in Denver, and now they're going to be able to go back into home court. And as we talk about, Denver has their backs against the walls. I'm taking Miami. It's going to be more of a high-scoring game. I'm going to take it 123 to 116. Sorry, but 123-116 Miami.
Okay. So my prediction is I'm probably going to roll with my hometown, the Denver Nuggets, simply because I think they have gone a long way. They're the 1 seed. And, of course, no disrespect to the Miami Heat. What they've done. It's incredible what they're doing. And they have the ability to win both games at home.
They do.
But I think with Nuggets being who they are and their pedigree and what they've done all season, I think they will really show it out in this game. And I'm being as unbiased as possible. But I think that the Nuggets are going to win this game 116 to 109.
Another high-scoring, close game. This is going to be such an interesting finals, prediction-wise, game-wise. This could really go either way. Miami could win in 6. Denver could win in 7. At this point, who knows? Both teams are playing extremely well basketball. This is going to be such a fun rest of the series to lay out. I'm hoping that we get 6 or 7 because that would be just such a fun
and I hate
run.
I hate to say it, but I'm not a type of person to really blame the refs, but how are the refs going to officiate in game 3?
It was poorly officiated for both sides in game 2. I mean, poorly.
There was a play that I seen where Jimmy Butler was trying to throw it back in, and he was straight up stepping out of bounds, and he had the ball in his hand, and it was clear as day, and then which led to a three-pointer, which those type of plays, especially in the finals, are game-changing plays.
Yeah, I mean, it is a shame that the refs are able to dictate the outcome of the game as much as they're able to. It is unfortunate that that's where we're at, but we will hope for a better officiating performance in game 3, as we're split decisions. So we'll see who's going to be right by the time this video comes out.
That's right.
305, baby. If you guys did enjoy, please subscribe. Once again, the graphics on screen now. 97.7% of my viewers who are subscribed or who watch my videos are not subscribed. So if you're not subscribed, hit that red button, turn on the post notification bell, because we upload new content here all the time on Ty Talk Sports. Shout out to Dev for coming and do these predictions. His social medias.
Leave it in the comments if you guys want to see me and him do a top 10 players of all time, because you would not guess who my number 1
It would
player
be fun.
is.
We have talked so many times about that, and I think that'd be such a fun video.
Who my goat is.
Yeah. I'll put his socials in the description, so you guys go check him out and drop him a follow. But yeah, guys, that's the end of this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like I said, if you enjoy, subscribe. And until then, this is Ty Talk Sports and Dev signing off. I'll see you guys.